Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick little comparison here with the phone with a screen which never ends, the Xperia XA Ultra and the iPhone 6s Plus, which is looking really prehistoric compared to the XA here in terms of the bezel ratio. But how does the actual performance compare? We can have a look here. Usually iPhones are on point when it comes to the performance. We have got the iPhone on the official iOS 9.3.4, I think. So it's a fair test here. And we're going to be checking out the camera as well as the day-to-day performance here. Hopefully Apple will actually minimize the bezel so that they can make for a nice kind of phone here like the XA. But it does take ages to boot up, if you ask me, in comparison. So I have shut down everything on both of them, and we can have a look here how they compare. And this is Android Marshmallow with Sony's skin on top, which you can see is starting to fall behind a little bit. Oh, so it didn't even respond to my touch then. Go. But when it does, it is brutally fast. The iPhone. So I think you can see from the basic apps here there is a little bit slower overall performance with the Sony. I wish Android would disable those annoying pop-ups as well. I mean, of course I want to give access to the storage for things like that, but you can see this is going clearly towards the iPhone's favor. I think day to day, there's very little speed coming from the XA, if I'm to be honest. We can just have a look at the raw benchmark as well. So you can see we're getting MediaTek 6755 versus Apple A9, and we are due to get the Apple A10 obviously next month with the new iPhone, which should be 2 years ahead of Android. That's how it is usually, even though it's like dual core. But then again, I've read somewhere that it might not be that good. It might be just a little bit better than the A9. So definitely think Sony should be building its own kind of CPUs in-house so they can really optimize things. I do like this little notification light. It looks quite cute. Didn't notice that before. So quite slow here for the Geekbench, and then we do have a fail. So no score available for the Xperia XA tonight. Denied. XA says no. So we're going to have a look at the browsing here. Can Sony pull one back? GSM Arena. Go. Oh, that was the XA, I think, first. Very nice. Is this the LG V10? Wow, that looks pretty awesome. It's like all screen. Let's try Phone Arena. Go. Again, the XA very fast here actually compared to the iPhone for some reason. I wasn't expecting this. Whoops. No response. Try that one. So it's slowing down a little bit here. And he was doing so well. Very slow for that one. May as well have not even bothered. Tech radar. Or iPhone's catched up now, or caught up. GameSpot. Go. So very fast with the iPhone. Loading these later pages, but the Sony did do well at the start, you know, better than I was expecting. So I'm probably going to give that one a draw, to be fair. We're going to have a look here at the multitasking performance. I haven't really opened up many games because you can't really install many on the XA anyway, or the iPhone. This is a 16 gigs iPhone. So you can already see though with like the basic apps, Sony reloads for some reason, and it's got 3 gigs of RAM versus 2 gigs on the iPhone with the perfect multitasking. So I think I can see which one is superior here when it comes to the multitasking anyway. See, there's a noticeable delay there. So I think iOS takes it here when it comes to the optimization, and that is very nice to see, particularly if you're an iPhone fan. Gonna have a look as well at the camera performance here. So we did do some selfie shots, and you know, have a look at the king of selfies here, how it compares against not the king of selfies. Why is it doing that? That is annoying. So I think the benefit with the XA is that you do have a flash there. So for example, this one selfie shot, you can see it's quite blurry because there's not much light there, but when you use the camera flash here, you're going to get much more detail, like particularly with the fur. So that is quite nice to see. But when it comes to not using the flash, I noticed that the actual performance is practically not that good compared to some of the higher end phones. So I think you should stick to using the flash really if you want to get the most out of it. In terms of the good light, we can have a look at some of these images here that we did do, and I have to say, it does a respectable job. I wouldn't say it's quite up to the quality of the iPhone solution, if I'm to be honest. Maybe it's because they're using slightly older Sony 20 megapixel sensor here versus the iSight sensor, which is still amazing even today. But it'll get the job done. The colours are very nice and good. I think we did some close-up shots as well to test out the the focus, depths of field and all that, and you can see it does quite a nice effect on the background. So I think generally most people are going to be quite happy with the camera solution, but not blown away. So we do get 4K though on the iPhone, which is sorely lacking on the Sony. So as you can see, I think the camera will get the job done, but you're probably best to stick with video recording, because I think the video recording is actually quite good in terms of stabilization. It's strange how Sony sells its sensors to Apple, but doesn't really, do amazing when it comes to camera phones. But you can see, I think, really day to day the performance is decent on the Xperia XA, but not amazing. If we're to be honest, it does have a much better form factor though than the iPhone when it comes to the screen ratio. If you're into watching content, that is something to bear in mind here. Both of them are obviously full HD displays, but I think the display on the Sony is leagues ahead really when it comes to edge to edge. It's just absolutely fantastic. Other things to consider here is the battery life. I think we're getting slightly bigger battery on the iPhone, which is quite rare. Usually Sony, is ahead of the pack when it comes to making big batteries. I think obviously we're getting a physical shutter button here, which is quite nice. You don't get that on iPhones, but you do get a physical mute button, which can be quite useful to quickly mute people. And I think what else is different about these two? They're quite solid in most respects. Obviously we are missing a fingerprint sensor, which I would like to have seen on the Xperia XA, but for some reason they just went with the old style power button. You do get that on the iPhone obviously, which is quite nice. So yeah, just a quick little comparison here between the Xperia XA and the iPhone 6s Plus. If you've got any questions, do let me know. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.